In this video, we will be talking about how you can get free traffic that can help you scale up to $750K a month. And I said so because many students of this program have been able to do this from free traffic alone, and we are talking about traffic from people who don't know you. Like I said in an earlier video, nothing works without traffic. So pay close attention to everything I will be teaching in this video. You might even want to watch it a few times to really get the hang of it. Let me start by doing a math breakdown of how you can make $750K in a month if you get the right traffic. Let's say you are promoting a product that pays 25K commissions per sale. And let's say an average of 60 people, that is 60 leads, request for your money magnet daily, thereby adding themselves to your WhatsApp list. That means you are going to get 1,800 leads in 30 days. Now, let's say one out of the 60 people buy, just one out of the 60. That will be 30 sales a month. And 30 sales times 25K commissions equals $750K a month. But the issue now here is that how can you get 60 leads a day? You do that by working on getting more traffic. And that is what this video is all about. Based on what I explained to you in Module 2, you get leads by promoting a promising money magnet. That is the free class, free reports, free WhatsApp class that you are promoting. But then, how do you promote this money magnet? You do it by exposing it to as many quality traffic you can lay your hands on. And there are two ways to get traffic. You can get it via money spent or time spent. Money spent or time spent. Time spent means you are getting it for free, organic, but you are spending your time to get the traffic. I won't be discussing paid traffic in this video, but there are 7 major ways to get quality traffic that is paid. Number 1, you can pay people who have a lot of active followers on social media for maybe a retweet, a post, or a story post. So if somebody has a lot of followers on social media, you can basically pay them money to help you advertise. Then number 2, you can use WhatsApp TVs. The thing about WhatsApp TV is that when approaching them, you can also ask them if they can send broadcast messages for you. I have included a WhatsApp TV PDF below this video that you can download. It gives you a list of various WhatsApp TVs that you can use if you want to try them. Then number 3 is Instagram ads. So for Instagram ads, they work too very well. You can see the 72IG implementation program, particularly day 12, for a video on how to do that. Then we also have Facebook adverts. You can also see the 72IG implementation program, day 7, 8, and 9 cover Facebook ads. Another thing you can do is that you can send bulk SMS to targeted numbers. So if you can get a list of people who are targeted, you can use SMS to market to them. So you can use Google Adverts. So for Google Adverts, there is a course on Expertnia. It is called PPC Traffic Workshop by Ademilo Igboega. It covers Google Adverts and it also covers YouTube Adverts as well. And there are more than these 7 ways, but these ones work very fine, especially for beginners. Now let's talk about getting free traffic. The thing about getting free traffic is that you will have to spend a good amount of time and effort to create content that will get you a lot of exposure. So let's talk about 3 ways now. Number 1, you can get free traffic from YouTube by uploading free YouTube videos. Again, I'm going to recommend a course from Expertnia. It is called YouTube Profit Blueprints by Dr. Abdulmalik Haruna. It's a training on how to launch, grow, and monetize a profitable YouTube channel in 90 days or less. But then it will also teach you how you can actually optimize your videos to get a lot of traffic on YouTube. And number 2 is you can leverage on the social media algorithms of Twitter and Instagram to help you get free organic traffic. So you can see the included Twitter Money Blueprint video for how you can do this. And number 3 is by extracting leads from other people's followers on social media using what I call the 3x comment technique. In this video, I will be teaching you the 3x comment technique because it is used for getting free traffic and you can use it to extract leads, and it works by taking advantage of other people's followers on social media. But first, let me start by telling you the story of how I discovered this technique and used it to get my first 500 email subscribers. This was way back in 2007. I was trying to basically make money by selling affiliate products from ClickBank. So what I would do is I would copy my affiliate links and I would go to online forums. Online forums were like social media back then. An example is Nairaland. So I will start pasting my affiliate links all over the forums so that hopefully someone is going to click on them and buy. So for example, let's say I wanted to promote a product about dating. I will use Google to find dating forums. Then I will sign up on the forums and start posting my affiliate links in the comment section. There was even a time I focused on posting 50 comments a day. But before I finished posting the 50, they would have banned me and thrown me out of the group. And also, not a single sale came from all of that posting. So one day, I was reading an article in Slugger's Digest Extra. It was from this guy called Fisayo Akinlolu. He was one of those people that I learned from very early. And the article was about how to sell via online forums. And it was double spread in the newspaper. So I spread on my bed too and read every single word of it. The main focus of the article is this. Don't just go to a forum and start posting adverts around like an idiot. People are going to avoid you and you might even be banned. Number two, he said, instead what you should do is that you should share real value. You can make an original post, or you can comment on the posts of the forum moderators, or you can answer people's questions by being helpful. Then number three, he said, once you've shared something valuable, add your signature line. The signature line is kind of like a line that you use to advertise yourself in online forums. So a signature line can look like this. It took me 3 years to finally figure out how to make 1 million a month writing articles. I wrote a free report on how to do it. Get it here. So when I read this article from Fisayo, it got me so fired up. I was just getting a whole lot of ideas. So that same evening, I wrote a sales letter on blogger.com. Then I ran off to the forums to try out what I learned. My focus basically was to use the technique to sell a report I had written some time ago, and it actually worked. Within a week, I made about 45,000 naira, which was actually big money for me at the time. So later on in 2008, when I was back to struggling, and then all of a sudden, sense now dawned on me that I need to actually start building an email list. But since I didn't have money to actually build an email list, what I just did was that to go back to this same strategy that Fisayo taught me about using online forums. So this time around, the first thing I did was to list the 3 online forums I was going to use. I listed Alabi Forum, SADC Forum, Cyber Breakthroughs Forum. These 3 online forums were where people were talking mostly about business opportunities and making money online at the time. The second thing I did was to start commenting intelligently on the forums, and I began to share good content of my own. And of course, the third step, according to the article I read, was that I composed a sexy and killer signature line to promote my own money magnet on the forums. So to summarize it again for you, number 1, I find online forums where I can get high quality prospects. I share valuable content on the forums. Then number 3, I composed a sexy and killer signature line, which is my adverts, to promote my money magnet. I think the signature line I used to build my list to 500 subscribers simply said, free reports, 7 fast ways to create hot info products that will sell and sell like crazy. Get it here. That was the line that I used to build my list up to 500 email subscribers. Let me show you one of my forum signatures that I used on a forum known as Alabi Forum. The forum was owned by Akin Alabi back then. You can see what I have here. This one just says, free reports, no opt-in. How I use a single classified advert to pull in 64,514 days and how you can copy it too. Then, my website link right there. So this is me back then. I was called Golden CEO on most of those forums. You can see how simple it is, right? At that time, some people were also doing rubbish like this one. So don't do something like this. Somebody was actually posting stuff like this because this guy's signature has scam on seriousness written all over it. So you don't want to do stuff like this. Number one, it is just too clumsy, and then even work online without paying for it. It just looks like a scam. So you don't want to do stuff like this. So I shared this story so that you can understand that what we are going to do is that we are going to take that same technique that I use on online forums, and we're just basically going to implement it on social media. And based on my experience, it's easy, or it's easier. And based on my experience, it's easier to implement this 3x comment technique on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook groups. And it's also easier to implement if you are targeting big markets, especially markets that have to do with making money, either it is crypto, affiliate marketing, investing, information marketing, e-commerce. If it has to do with basically making money, health and weight loss, relationships and dating, travel and relocating. Because these are big markets, it's easier for you to implement this 3x comment technique on these markets. This 3x technique works better for these big markets because it will be easier for you to find various groups and pages on social media that are dedicated to them. So here are the 3 steps in this technique. That's why we call it 3x. 3 steps. Step number 1, find and close up following. Step number 2, drop value adding and intelligent comments. Step number 3, you offer a freebie, aka your money magnet. Like I said before, this technique works by taking advantage of the followers some people have already acquired. So in order to use it, the first thing you must do is you must find those people who have your targeted audience as their followers and who have many of them. You have to find them and you have to follow them closely. Okay? Let's talk about step 1, which is about finding and close up following. So number 1 is finding people who have your target audience. So how do you do that? You search the social media you want to use, if it is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook groups, using any of the below ideas, and you follow the active ones. So the way you search is that you can search the name of the product creator. You can search with books, TV programs about the topic. Example, Rich Dad Poor Dad. You can search with keywords. For example, maybe sales and marketing or weight loss. Then you can search using other known authorities. For example, book authors. So in this case now, we can just look for the person who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is Robert Kiyosaki. We can actually search for him and use and follow all of these people. Then the second thing is you want to pay attention to the algorithm. The algorithm of social media platforms are built to observe what you are doing and recommend related content and activities to you. So basically what I'm saying is that once you begin to follow all these people that are about the topic you are looking for, Twitter or Facebook or Instagram will begin to recommend other pages, other people who belong to that same area for you to follow. Then once you follow them, the third thing to do is turn on notifications so that you can know when they post and then follow them closely. So here's an example. Let's say you're promoting the 72 IG product. So what you're going to ask yourself is, what topic is that? Well, it's about making money online, right? So which means you can basically go over to Twitter and go and search for the keywords making money online. Or let's say it's about affiliate marketing, you can go and search for affiliate marketing on Twitter. Then name of products creator, Tony Yamamoto Show, right? It means you can go on Twitter, Instagram, you can go and search for Tony Yamamoto Show and follow him. Then name 1 to 10 popular book this audience reads. So for example, I will now list audience that is people who are motivated to make money online. I would make a list of 10 books that I know that they read. So example is Rich Dad Poor Dad. I would write that one out. Then I can go on and find other books that people who Richest Man in Babylon, they read that. I will list all of those things and search for these things on Twitter or Instagram and basically follow pages that are related to those books, those topics. Then name 10 popular authority or celebrity for this topic. So I will list out people like Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. I will list out Brian Tracy, another author of self-development books, and I will list out Sam Adeyemi, who happens to be somebody who is known for teaching people business and how to succeed in life. Then this one can work too. Is there a particular TV show that these people watch? So it doesn't really work all the time, but if there are certain TV shows that the audience who watch, you can use that one too as well to search. So again, what keywords can you search with? I've talked about that. You can search in this case with, you can use affiliate marketing, internet marketing, side income business. You can use all of these keywords to search and follow. So armed with this information, now is the time for you to go online and do Operation Find and Follow. Now, when you begin to find people and pages who are related to this topic, you want to follow only the active ones. I'm saying this because there will be some pages that you stumble on that have a lot of followers, but you will discover that maybe the person has not posted in 3 months, or maybe the person posts like once in a month or once in 3 months. Now, you don't want to waste your time following pages like that. You want to follow only pages that are active. So again, you go on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook groups. So once you begin to follow these people, pages or groups, and you begin to engage with their content, the social media algorithm will begin to recommend similar pages and people for you. But you need to always check them to ensure that they suit your purposes before you follow. So once you follow them, turn on post notifications for the ones that get a lot of engagements. I'm talking about the ones that get a lot of likes, a lot of retweets, and a lot of comments. So let me just show you an example of what I'm talking about. So this is Instagram now, for example. If I want to search for somebody, maybe by their name, I can just come over here, type in Rich Dad. So you can see, this is a page for Rich Dad Poor Dad. So I can follow this page, and go to Robert Kiyosaki. That's another page right there. So let me just add this. If you are trying to target Nigerians, I'm talking about the Nigerian audience, I won't advise that you follow pages that are not Nigerian pages. I'm talking about pages that are owned by people who are not Nigerians, because what is going to happen is that these people most of their audience are from outside of Nigeria. So it won't really do you any good if what you are looking for is a Nigerian audience. So for example, now I'm on this Rich Dad page. If I were to follow people on this page, and then if I were to comment and get my traffic from this guy's traffic, most of the people I will be attracting won't be Nigerians. And if I'm trying to actually sell to Nigerians, that means I'm not going to be getting a lot of sales. So let me just search for a page that is Nigerian here. So let me, we use Sam Adeyemi, right, as an example. So that's Sam Adeyemi right there. Okay. So I could come here now. He has 736,000 followers. That's a lot. So I could just follow him. I can do the same thing on Twitter. I can come over here, search for Sam Adeyemi. Okay, and follow him. Then even on Facebook, I can come over here, search for Sam Adeyemi. Okay. That's Sam Adeyemi over there. Is there any groups for him? I can click on groups. You can see Sam Adeyemi's Proteges. There's actually a group that has 6,000 members. So I can look at that group and see if it's something I can use. Then we have Sam Adeyemi lovers. So these are groups that, I'll just look for the ones that are active. 7 posts a day. Now that's nice. I can join this. But when I'm doing this, I will also have it in mind that I'm basically looking for pages where people talk about things like business, money, self-development. So Sam Adeyemi is actually also a pastor of a church. So there might be some of these groups where what they're basically talking about is just church stuff. So I won't actually have to join those kind of groups. For example, this one that says Sam Adeyemi Word of Life. I don't know. This might actually be a page that has to do with pastoring and stuff. So I used Sam Adeyemi here as an example. I'm not saying he's the only person that you can actually use. But what happens is that once you follow like maybe 10 or 12 of all of these people, and then you are beginning to engage with their content, the social media algorithm is going to start recommending other people who are like that to you. That's basically the whole idea. So another thing you can do is that you can actually spy on the people that some of these pages or these people are following. For example, now I can go and look at who is Sam Adeyemi following. So I can come over here and click here and spy on who is following. So by doing that, I might even uncover some people that I might follow too as well. All right. So that's how you go about it. But anyway, make sure you check the pages to be sure they align with what you want to do before you go ahead and follow them. So now let's talk about step number 2, which is about adding valuable and intelligent comments. When it comes to dropping comments that get you traffic, the most important thing is that you must be seen. That is just what you want to do. You want to be seen as much as possible. And if your comment is comment number 101 on that page, it means you probably won't be seen. In order for this technique to work for you, rule number 1 is that you must comment early. You must comment early. So I would advise that you go for the first 10, or maybe you can still manage 20 comments. First 10 or 20 comments is okay. And this is exactly why you turned on post notifications. So that when this person posts, you can be there as fast as possible to drop a comment on their post. Rule number 2 is you comment intelligently. This doesn't mean you have to agree with just the post alone. Apart from maybe agreeing with what the poster has posted, it means you actually have to contribute something. You have to add value to the main post. You have to say something extra and useful that wasn't in the main post. That is what makes it valuable. Something useful, something different, something extra. Add it to the main post. That is what makes it valuable. That is what gives it a lot of eyeballs. I'm going to talk about how you can do that. So rule number 3 is that sometimes you have to comment casually. It's not all the time that you have to actually drop valuable and intelligent comments. There are times when you won't have anything to say, but still drop a comment for the purpose of what? For the purpose of being seen. It might even be something like this. Thanks for the advice. I will add this to my routine. So when I was talking about dropping valuable and intelligent comments, I'm talking about you dropping the type of comment that gets people to think, who is this guy? Let me check him out. Who is this girl? Let me check him out. That is the kind of comment you want to drop. That's the kind of comment that gets you the attention that you need. And that is because as human beings, we are hardwired to find out more about someone who is producing something valuable. That something valuable might be movie scripts, it might be a way of acting, it might be sports performance, it might be a song, it might be online content. That is why when people listen to a song that is amazing, they start trying to get the name of that person because they just stumbled on something valuable. So they want to know who is behind it. There is even an app built around finding songs that you don't know. I think it's called Shazam. It listens to a song and tells you the person who sang it. Anyway, let's move on. So here is an example of a post that I saw on Twitter the other day. It's by this guy called George. So I dropped this comment to his post. I said, exactly, I agreed with him. People try to overcomplicate copywriting. That is why I usually tell my students to think of copywriting as writing a letter to a friend you care about with great news about a product that is going to make them happier. If you look at my reply, you will see that it's a short tweet. But let me show you why it's a valuable reply. Number one, I agreed with his post by saying exactly. People try to overcomplicate copywriting. Then, I added something valuable to contribute to what he posted. In this case, this valuable content that you are adding, it can be in different forms. It might be an extra advice, it might be a case study, it might be a personal story, it might be something you learned from a book, it might be something you learned from a video, it might be something you learned from a mentor. So you just contribute to what he posted. So number three, I gave myself positioning by saying I usually tell my students. And my students is actually a word play because my students might even be just two students. In fact, those two students might just be my sisters or my brothers. They are still my students, right? But you know what? This makes me look like an authority by saying I usually tell my students. So when somebody reads that comment, what they're going to have in their head is like, wow, this guy actually has students, number one, and wow, this advice that he is giving is really valuable. Let me check him out. When it comes to dropping valuable and useful comments, you can't do it if you are not knowledgeable about what is being said. So for example, let's say I stumbled on a post where they're talking about Java programming. I won't be able to contribute anything whatsoever because I don't know anything about Java programming. If you don't know anything about the topic, you won't be able to drop anything valuable, or you will be like people who eventually make themselves look stupid because they always want to drop a comment even when they have nothing to say. If you don't have anything valuable to say, it is better to be quiet than open your mouth and look stupid. Another benefit of using valuable comments, if you are using Twitter especially, is that your reply gets you more exposure because people will like it, people will retweet it, which makes that reply go round and get seen by a lot of people. And in some cases, if your reply is something very valuable, the owner of that page might also retweet your reply. And this sends a lot of traffic your way. As a matter of fact, this was one of the ways I was able to grow my Twitter following. I will just go to pages that have a lot of followers and I will drop intelligent, valuable advice under their tweet. I will drop it within 1 to 10 or 20 comments so that they can see it. And then they will retweet it. And this got me a lot of followers and exposure. Now, the more comments you drop, the more exposure you get. It's actually a game of numbers. If you want to be seen by a lot of people, then you have to commit to a daily target for yourself. So for example, you can commit to dropping a minimum of 100 comments daily. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying that the more comments you put out there, the higher the exposure you are going to get. So whatever you do is going to depend on how aggressive you are about getting traffic. Now let's move on to the third step of this technique, which is the advert part of the 3x technique. This advert part of the 3x technique can go in two different ways depending on the funnel you are using. I hope you remember the two WhatsApp money magnet funnel I shared with you in module 2, right? Funnel 1, add leads straight to money magnet. Funnel 2, add leads to a pre-sale and then it leads to a money magnet. If you are using the money magnet funnel 1, that is the one without a pre-sale, then you have to promote your money magnets directly. But if you are using money magnet funnel 2, the one with the pre-sale, then you should promote your pre-sale first and then use your pre-sale to promote your money magnets. Again, I'm talking about these funnels. This is funnel number 1, which is where your adverts leads to your money magnets. Example of advert right here. And then we have funnel number 2, where you have your adverts, it leads to a pre-sale, and then your pre-sale leads to your money magnets. So there are 3 places to put your adverts to get traffic. You can put it in your bio, This works very well on Twitter and Instagram. You can use it in your pinned tweet. This one works on Twitter, where you write a pre-sale article and then you end it with the advert that leads to your money magnet. Then number 3, you can put your adverts within your comments. And this can work on Twitter, on Instagram, and also on Facebook groups. So before we talk about how you use your advert in any of those 3 places I mentioned, let's even talk about how you can compose an advert that gets attention, because it's important. If you don't get attention, then what you are doing is useless. The attention getting formula I like to use online that works very well, it's proven, it's benefits plus curiosity. It always works. Benefits plus curiosity. So let me show you some example. Here I have how to print as much as 122k naira a week with that WhatsApp on your phone. The benefit part there is how to print as much as 122,000 naira a week. So the curiosity part there is with WhatsApp. They want to know how do I get this done with my WhatsApp? And that is what gets them into the content. Example number 2. This one says, if you are a newbie looking to make money online, look out for these 7 things to avoid being scammed. Now the benefit here is avoiding being scammed, because nobody wants to get scammed, especially people who are looking to make money online. They always have it in their head that they are about to get scammed. So that's the benefit that they want to get. Curiosity is that what are the 7 things I have to look out for? What are the 7 things I have to avoid? That is what gets them to go into your content. Another example, free reports, how I used Instagram stories to sell 300 million naira worth of lands in 14 days and how you can copy it. So this one can work for people who are real estate marketers. So the benefit here is sell 300 million naira worth of lands in 14 days. Curiosity is, how did you do it with Instagram stories? They want to know, how did you use Instagram stories to do it? That is what gets them into the content. Another example number 4, how I used a combination of apple cider and lectin to shed 10 kg in just 30 days, no exercise. So the benefit here is shed 10 kg in 30 days. Curiosity part is, how did you do it with apple cider and lectin and without exercise? Please show me, I want to know how. They want to know how. That's the curiosity part. Usually, when people see your comments on a post and they like it, some of them will quickly go over to your page to check out your profile. That is what most people do. When people see a nice comment, they quickly check out the profile of the person who is behind it. I do that one too as well. And while they are at it, some of them might also check out your pinned tweet too. While they are checking your profile, they will also go ahead and check your pinned tweets. Especially if they love your profile, they will quickly check your pinned tweets. This is why what you put on your bio and pinned tweets are important. Now I am saying pinned tweets in case you are using Twitter. So let's start with the bio. Now let's talk about how you can create a bio that works using this 3x comment technique. The first thing you want to look at is your positioning. That is a sentence that describes what you want people to believe about you. And when you are doing this, just try as much as possible to stay away from hype. Then number 2 is now your advert. We already talked about your advert, right? Now when you are putting your advert, you want to use something that is believable. Don't use something that is too outrageous. Use something that is believable. So when I created the first 72 IG sales video, I led with a headline that talked about how you can make 400k in 30 days. And the reason why I did that is because I knew that if I were to talk about making 3 million in 30 days, many people would find it hard to believe. I mean, even when I even said 400k in 30 days, some people were even still finding it hard to believe. So if I were to lead with something like 3 million naira or 5 million naira in 30 days, many people would find it hard to believe. And when people don't believe something, they're going to quickly run away from it. So that is why you want your adverts to be believable. And because some of these social media platforms put a limit on the word count you can use in your bio, you want to adjust your advert to fit in based on the maximum word count or characters that you can use. Then number 3 is your pre-sale URL or your WhatsApp link. It depends on the funnel you are using. Okay, if it's a funnel that takes people to a pre-sale, then you want to put your pre-sale URL there. If it takes people directly to request for your money magnet, then you can put your WhatsApp link there. And in some cases too as well, you may also refer to your pinned tweet. So basically, you can just tell people to go and check out your pinned tweet from your bio. That might just be the adverts. So let me show you an example. So in this example, I have Tony Omotocho, which is my name, because definitely your name has to be part of your bio. Then my positioning, millionaire real estate marketer. Okay, simple, straightforward. When people see this, they know who I am, they know what I do, they know what I stand for. Millionaire real estate marketer. Then the adverts, I say, read my pinned tweets to discover how I used Instagram stories to sell 300 million naira worth of land in 14 days. Now, what I also want you to see here is that everything blends. Okay, everything blends. Millionaire real estate marketer, and now in my pinned tweet, I'm talking about how I used Instagram stories to sell 300 million naira worth of land. So it blends. It blends. Everything just aligns. Now, I can use this read my pinned tweet if I want to send people to my pinned tweet so that they can go there and read my pre-sale. I can have this. Yeah? Or if I don't want to use this format, then I can use it that says how I use Instagram stories to sell 300 million naira worth of land in 14 days. Then I can put my pre-sale link there if the pre-sale link is outside of Twitter or outside of Instagram. So if you are using maybe like Instagram where you can actually use a pinned tweet, you can use this right here. So you just put a link there that they can click on and then you can go and read your pre-sale. Then I can use this. This is actually for if I'm giving away my money magnet directly from my bio. So here I said, free reports, how I use Instagram stories to sell 300 million worth of land in 14 days. Then I put my WhatsApp link there. So these are the 3 different ways I can put together my bio. So again, I have my name, my positioning, and then my adverts. And for the adverts, based on what your funnel is like, you might tell them to go and read your pinned tweets, or you can send them to your pre-sale if it's outside of the social media platform, or you can tell them how to access your money magnet by giving them a link to your WhatsApp. So let's look at another example. This bio is from a guy on Twitter. It's called Dango. And when you look at his bio, you instantly know what his positioning is. It says, body transformation coach to entrepreneurs. Then he has a little advert in there, which he is using to promote his money magnet. The advert says, book your free health accelerator call. And then there's the link there on how to book that call. Another example, this guy is also a fitness guy. Again, you can see his positioning. Here he is saying, I have helped 1,300 men to lose 30 pounds in 90 days. Then he also used the book a consult advert format. So those 2 are on Twitter. Let's look at an example from Instagram. So this is a page on Instagram called Life, Maths and Money. And this is a page that is not actually based on a personality like a human. It's just based on a topic. And you can see the positioning too here on this page. This tells you what the page is all about. It says, get rich, get fit, get smarter, learn what the schools won't teach you. Then there's an advert there as well about a 90-day self-improvement program. Now let's talk about how you can use your pinned tweet to drive traffic to your funnel. Now this part is basically for people who are using Twitter, okay? It might not be for you if you're using Facebook groups or Instagram. It's just for people who are using Twitter, because that is where this whole pinned tweet comes in. And the first thing is that your pinned tweet must be compelling. The tweet that you have, that you are pinning at the top, it must be compelling. It must pull people in. And one thing that works here is stories. Stories help you to get people's attention on social media, and it helps you to keep their attention. Then number two, you can use single tweets if what you have in your pinned tweet is just a direct advert. So it can just be a single tweet, or it can be 2 tweets maximum if you are having a direct advert as your pinned tweet. Then if you are going to have a pre-sale as your pinned tweet, then it has to be in form of a thread, because a thread allows you to give a longer content on Twitter. So in this case, if you are putting your pre-sale as your pinned tweet, then you do not need to actually use your bell to direct people to an external pre-sale page. You can just tell them from your bell to read what you have in your pinned tweet. So for example, let's say the advert in your bell says, want to make money online? Read my pinned tweet to avoid falling into the hands of scammers. Then your pinned tweet can be an article that starts with, if you are a newbie looking to make money online, here are 7 things to look out for to avoid being scammed. So here is an example of someone who is just using his pinned tweet as a direct advert to send people to his offer. You can see that's just all he has in his pinned tweet. Just his adverts and then straight to his website. This one is my pinned tweet as at the time of creating this video, which is just a short pre-sale. So you can see here, this is more like a story. It starts, when I was 22, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, blah, blah, blah. It's just a story. So it gets people to actually read it. Now let's talk about using your adverts within the comment section itself. So in this case, what you are doing is that you are adding your adverts to a valuable comment that you just contributed. Again, to make this work, the comment must really be valuable. And you don't have to do this all the time. In fact, you can't even do this all the time. You only use this approach only when your comment is very comprehensive and useful, and when it is appropriate. So let me tell you how you do it on different platforms. So on Facebook groups, you can easily do that by using a PS to snake in your adverts. So let's still go ahead and use this real estate example. So I can say in the PS section, I can say, want to know how I use Instagram stories to sell 300 million worth of land in 14 days? Go here. Then I can put my pre-sale link right there, or I can put my WhatsApp link right there for them to get my money magnet depending on the funnel I'm using. On Instagram, you can refer to your bio, since links usually don't work within Instagram posts. So I can say, want to know how I use Instagram stories to sell 300 million worth of land in 14 days? Check my bio. Then on Twitter, you put the tweet containing your adverts and the link in a reply below your main reply. So basically what I'm saying is that you don't put your advert in the same tweet as your reply. So your reply occupies a tweet, then you now reply to your reply. That's basically what you do. And the reason is people usually don't retweet tweets with links in them. And also the Twitter algorithm doesn't favor tweets that has links. So you separate your valuable tweet from your advert tweet, gives it more exposure. So what you do here is that in the reply to your reply, I can add something like this. By the way, if you want to know how I use Instagram stories to sell 300 million worth of land in 14 days, read this. Then I can put my link there. Again, let me remind you that I included the Twitter Money Blueprint video to this training to help you out if you are interested in using Twitter to get a lot of free traffic. And if you really want to get amazing success as an affiliate marketer, you should pick one source of mega traffic and master it. One source of mega traffic. It might be Google Ads, it might be YouTube, it might be Twitter, it might be Instagram, it might be Facebook. Pick one source of mega traffic and learn how to use it effectively. Later on, you can add more, but start by picking one source of mega traffic. Pick one, master it. That's actually how you get a lot of traffic, not by dividing your attention all over different traffic sources. That's all I have for you in this training. So you can go through this video 2, 3, 4 times, as many times as possible for you to really understand it and get the hang of it. And I try to use as many examples as possible so that you can really understand how to use this 3x technique. And also you have to know that you won't understand everything completely at once just by watching the video. All you have to do is just get started and you will begin to figure it all out. I wish you success.